Tomorrow is World Mental Health Day, but concerns about mental health have been front of mind for months, especially recently. So joining us this morning to start this conversation, we have Chief Psychologist at A Mission for Michael, Dr. Megan Markham, along with life coach, author of Behaving Bravely, How to Mindshift Life's Challenges, Anita K. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
So Dr. Markham, let's start with you. You've been working on the front lines of mental health care. What are you seeing during this pandemic? What are people going through?
This year, the pandemic has brought so many changes to how we live our lives. You know, we've seen our routines upended. 30 million Americans have filed for unemployment. With all of that comes a lot of financial stress. And for many who lost their job, that also means the loss of healthcare coverage. So in addition, schools have closed down, parents have struggled to keep up with online education while trying to do their own work. And then there's also that ongoing need for widespread social distancing, which means less interaction with our friends and loved ones. So all of that, because it's happened very quickly and represents so many drastic changes, it really has contributed significantly to increased rates of anxiety, depression and suicide, substance use or relapse, and trauma.
Yeah, I can definitely hear you there. So many people going through stresses and feeling lonely on top of that. Anita, let's bring you in now because you're not only a life coach, but also the author of Behaving Bravely, How to Mindshift Life's Challenges. Important title here. So very, curious how we should be doing this. How do we actually mind shift?
I think that's a great question, and I get that question all the time. As we navigate through the challenging times towards a new normal, optimism really needs to be our friend. It's beneficial when we can explore our thoughts and our attitudes and our behaviors deeper towards strengthening what I call lion-like resilience. And I have about 5 quick tips that I think that can help most of us mind shift through life's challenges.
Yes, please, go for it.
All right. Number 1, it's really important to tune in to your self-talk. Notice the tone, your breathing, ask yourself useful questions, stay in that moment of wonder, and claim and state your feelings. That's really important. Are you in doubt? Are you in fear? Are you affected by some visual stimuli? Once here, know that you have the power to change the perspective and progress through it. The second step is it's really important sometimes just to disengage by reframing your theme of thoughts. Basically, this means shifting your senses. There's some evidence that states that choosing to smell, pleasing scents can help us move into a calmness and a state of relaxation. We're wrapping up summer, so those reminders going into the garden and smelling the flowers and the vibrancy of the lemons in our homemade lemonade and the coconut in our sun lotions. We're all familiar with how to do that. The third step is I like to tell people many times, sometimes it's okay just to start your day over. Your day doesn't have to be hijacked by a bad experience in the morning and leading to a domino effect. Better balance is when we self-regulate and we engage in very simple mind-boosting activities and stay there. Number 4 is probably my favorite, de-stressing with the simple joys. In the wake of the uncertainty, connecting and bridging with our loved ones, pet joy, maintaining our wellness activities, physical and emotional, and finding meaning and purpose every single day and capturing those moments because it's the meaning that's going to keep us in our truth. And finally, I think it's really important to commit to accepting change. A growth mindset acknowledges the necessity to grow, and integrating this very simple wisdom kind of keeps us in the present and helps us manage through and launch deeper personal empowerment.
That's amazing. I hope people were taking notes at home because everything you said is so important to do. It's funny, our little girl, she'll just, when she's kind of upset, will spin in a circle, and I'm like, what is she doing? But she is kind of resetting the day, like you mentioned.
Absolutely.
I mean, they know it at 19 months, so we can all learn from that. Dr. Markham, I want to ask you, because I know the stresses that people are going through can certainly be serious. How has this led to, during this pandemic, substance abuse, mental illness, things like that? What are you seeing as far as what patients are coming to you with?
Yeah, well, we're seeing patients who are really just having a difficult time coping, and that's not unexpected. As I mentioned, all of those changes, people have a finite capacity for how much stress they can handle, and at some point, the stress becomes overwhelming. And so they'll look for ways to cope. And not all of those ways are healthy ways. So we've seen quite a bit of substance use and people isolating, and then their mental health symptoms, whether they were there before, whether they were in remission or mild, are really exacerbated because of all of this. So I think it's really important to consider how people are struggling. And if you're having trouble functioning, meaning your relationships or your work have been largely impacted, then it might be time to start considering about talking to a mental health professional like a psychologist or a psychiatrist. And it's a good time to do that because the government has relaxed regulations, making telehealth much more accessible, so you can have those visits from the comfort and privacy of your own home if you're struggling.
Yeah, experts like you are available to help people through this. They don't have to go through it alone. Tell us real quick, if you could, about A Mission for Michael.
Mission for Michael is located in Southern California. It's a residential treatment facility for mental health. We have a wonderful website where you can find more resources on how to deal with anxiety and depression. We also have a 24-hour hotline you can call and ask questions. So if anybody's curious or wants more information, it's a great place to check it out.
All right, Dr. Markham, Anita K, both of you, thank you very much for your expertise. Hopefully we provided our viewers some good advice so they can get through all of this.
Thank you.